let's go off to the next big hype team. Well, no, not big hype team because that would be the Jets. But let's go to Buffalo if you don't mind.
No,
Do you have
I
a
don't mind.
preference?
No, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's start off with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
You go ahead.
So the Buffalo Bills last year, let me go over to that. They finished 13-3. And of course last year, the big story coming out of last year was Damar Hamlin. That was definitely the big thing. I think that with the Bills, they have the potential, the Buffalo Bills, they can be first, but I don't think they're expected to go first this year. I think with everything that Miami – see, the thing is that every year going in the past 2 or 3 years, everybody believed the Buffalo Bills were the team to beat. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yes.
They're the team to beat. We're watching. Other than who –
And then what happened in the playoffs?
When Patrick – Cincinnati smacked them. But when Patrick Mahomes – when we all knew that Mahomes was the man and Kansas City looked unbeatable, everybody said the Bills are the only team that can beat them. Everybody said that, right?
Sure enough did.
That's what we all thought. And then I don't know what happened. Two things I think will happen. One is Brian Dable left. They also lost the other guy that went to the Giants, the general manager. I forgot his name also right now. It's slipping my head. But he left. You saw Josh Allen's production go down. It just something switched up. Not to mention Allen tries to be Superman and does it himself. Go ahead.
So I got a question because you're actually leading into my first question.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the inefficiencies that hurt them last year, basically when they got to the playoffs and this got smacked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what you're naming, what do you think they need to correct going into this season? As we talked about, the AFC has a gauntlet of a schedule. What do they need to correct so that this doesn't happen again?
They're going to have to rely on their running game more. Because I think when last year they were pretty productive, them and Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. We all know that's even though Allen likes throwing to the tight end, we all know it's because tight end gets open because everybody knows he's going to go to Stephon Diggs. And then when they start seeing Josh Allen take off or when he's throwing to, other guys, to get it. But the main objective is to get to Stephon Diggs. I think that ship is sailing to a point where people are kind of looking like, there's so many chances you're going to take going to him.
What about him coming off? Did he have an ACL injury last year or no? Diggs?
No, Diggs didn't.
Okay.
No.
My bad. Wrong person.
Diggs, no. Yeah, Diggs is doing just fine.
Okay.
But they need somebody else to step up. They tried that last year, and that didn't work out well. To give you an example, Stephon Diggs led the team with 108 receptions. The next guy that had the most receptions, he had 48 receptions.
On the season?
Gonna say that again. Stephon Diggs had 108 receptions last year.
Okay.
The next receiver that had the highest most receptions only had 48.
So let me push back.
That's 60. That's 60 plus different.
Let me give you some minor pushback. So you said they have to rely on a running game. Is that because you don't think they have the offensive reception weapons?
Because it's so long you can keep going to that well.
Okay.
So how long are we gonna? Okay, so let me make this point. I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm working me here. How long are you going to keep doing the 13-3, 12-4, 11-5, 15-1? You look unbeatable with Stephon Diggs. Then you get in the playoffs, and you know what? Stephon Diggs ain't really that relevant. Or he might be relevant, but then there's guys on the other end. You see what Cincinnati has? They got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Mixon. And I'm missing one other guy. There's somebody else I'm missing, one name, another receiver. So you can have Stephon Diggs all day. I got 4 weapons, Burrow says, to your 1. And that's including you when you take off and run. So how long are you going to keep doing that? I'm going to keep saying this, and I know I'm sounding like an old school head, like a Jurassic Park guy, but I'm telling you the running game is your friend. They all know the Bills are going to throw. We all know that if Stephon Diggs is guarded, Josh Allen's going to take off. That's the whole offense. It's a whole offense. Throw to Stephon Diggs, and if they start going over there, then I'm going to start taking off and running. Which, good luck, because, I think Bradley Chubb is in your division. Matthew and Judon is in your division, and what's his name, Quentin Williams from the Jets, and those Jets defensive linemen hit hard. You're not going to make a career living, keep running and taking off against those guys. That's just not going to work for you. So to give you a point, the Bills are going to have to do something. they're gonna have to switch up. They're gonna have to make it versatile. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you cool. You cool. So, what you're describing to me as they have to change their course of attack, which is the running game.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah.
But doing my research, just my minor research, one of their, I don't want to say weaknesses, you may agree, you may disagree, you could tell me, might be the roster construction around the offensive line. So research, they have Spencer Brown and Deion Dawkins on the offensive line. But some people are saying their depth chart isn't too strong on the line. Is that going to hurt their chance to go to the running game? Or
it might,
barring injury,
because their line, that might be for passing.
Okay.
I think Josh Allen takes off. He takes off a lot, man, because guys may not be getting over and Stephon Diggs is double team. But let me make it clear. I mean, last year they were ranked second in offense.
Okay.
So, I mean, like I said, that's all great till you get to the playoffs. And then what happens when you get to the playoffs? You lose. You can't produce. So you have number one, they got a 6th overall ranked defense, right? So if you have a 6th ranked overall defense,
kind of good.
Right, you should. I always believe if you got a top 10 defense, the running game is the answer for everything. If you got a high-powered offense or you can't stop people, you got a running game, it'll help you get stops. Let me give you a good example, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not sidetracking. Kyle Shanahan, right, when he's with the Falcons, when we had a 28-3 lead on the Patriots, we decided to keep throwing the football, right? Because that was the smartest thing to do in the second half with a 25-point lead on Tom Brady. If you had just ran the ball and methodically moved down the field,
slow the clock,
you would have made them. You would have put pressure on them to keep coming, and you could have probably played a different defense, and it would have gave your defense a rest. Instead, you didn't do that. So, mind you, when he goes to San Fran, he plays Kansas City. He's going against Patrick Mahomes. They had the game. All they had to do was run the ball and keep the clock down. Instead, they tried to go deep to Emmanuel Sanders, and Garoppolo overthrew him. But it ain't the point. The point is you try to go for the juggler. You put your defense back on the field. You got Richard Sherman and them huffing and puffing to try to go chase Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and I forgot the other guy that was there at the time. I mean, their receivers were illmatic. So fast forward to this, with Buffalo, that's another thing. Buffalo is the everybody's going for Buffalo's head, right? New England's looking at that.
Miami is.
Miami's looking at that.
Everybody's saying they're going to dethrone Buffalo.
And the Jets are looking at that. So my whole point is, use the running game. Sauce Gardner's looking to take Stephon Diggs out. Miami, who when they lost Brian Flores, they switched their whole defense around. Jalen Ramsey's in that conference now. You think Jalen Ramsey you think Stephon Diggs is going to sit there and catch like 10 receptions, 120 yards against Jalen Ramsey? How you think that's going to work with Sauce Gardner? How you think that's going to work with Belichick's defense? At some point, that's going to catch up. I can tell you Belichick is tied. Knowing Belichick, he's not trying to hear that. So, no, and I should have pulled up the stats on that. Belichick's not trying to hear that on his defense. Vic Fangio, who is a great defensive coordinator and now has Jalen Ramsey, he ain't trying to hear that Stephon Diggs thing. And I know Sauce Gardner and Robert Saleh definitely ain't trying to hear it. So, I mean, what are you going to do here? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, they need to look to James Cook, who I think is going to be the primary back, if I'm not mistaken. They need to look at Cook. They need to, Dalvin's brother. Yes, Dalvin Cook's brother. They need to look at Dalvin Cook's brother. Correct.
So you talked about how effective their offense can be. Talked about their high power ranked defense. I want to ask a question. Let me know if it makes sense.
Yeah.
What franchise records can the Buffalo Bills exceed at this season, if that makes sense?
What do you mean? Like what?
Just overall in general, because people are looking at them like they're the team to beat in the division. So they're gunning for a lot of stuff.
They're gunning it. I think they gotta get a Super Bowl, man. Because I think the clock is ticking.
All right, so
the clock is ticking.
So where's because last year people were saying they had a window. Where is the Buffalo Bills window overall, in your opinion? Is it this season and that's it, or do they have like a 2 or 3 year window?
I don't think they got a 2 or 3 year window no more. Did you see what you see? Okay, so to kind of give you an idea, if you just leave the AFC East, I'll come back to that fast in a minute. If you look at the AFC East, leave the AFC East. You got what's his name? Trevor Lawrence coming out of Jacksonville. He's not going anywhere.
Sure.
So he's made it clear. Justin Herbert just signed that big deal with the Chargers, and you see what he did with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. He's not going anywhere. Patrick Mahomes is not going anywhere. Joe Burrow is not going anywhere. Lamar Jackson is not going anywhere. And I forgot, by the way, Deshaun Watson is in Cleveland, and clearly he's not going anywhere.
Not at
that's
least for
6
5
guys.
years, yeah.
Oh, there's a guy in Pittsburgh by the name of Kenny Pickett that's coming out.
Still a nation, stand up.
So he's on the verge of stepping up. And hell, he did that. I mean, just what they did with what they had, I don't know how he did it. But he's just now getting started. I just named about seven guys, right?
That are coming.
About 4 of them, I think about 4 of them are hitting their prime. 4 of them are hitting their prime, and 3 are coming.
Yeah, or not even in their prime.
Right? Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not even in their prime. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I would probably say this is their best chance. I don't know. And let me also make this clear what people ain't looking at. So we saw what happened with Dable. He kind of took a little step. I mean, their offense still did what they did. They still went 13-3. They still got into the playoffs. But when they played Cincinnati, they couldn't do nothing, right? Let me make this clear. Leslie Frazier took a hiatus. And I think Sean McDermott, who's the head coach, who used to be a defense coordinator, he's going to get a little bit more aggressive. Now, that defense is good. That defense is real good. Buffalo's defense is Super Bowl caliber type defense. I just don't know at what point how many L's you can keep taking when people are picking at your franchise, and you're going to keep maintaining that.
One last question before we go to the next segment.
Yeah.
Unless you have more to add on to this, but overall, we all know everybody's gunning for Buffalo. You just gave me the breakdown of they have a short window. Where does Buffalo finish with the AFC East, with the tough schedule overall?
I seen them in second. I see the Miami Jets. I see it in second.
Okay, we getting down to the bottom.
I see them in second. I see like Buffalo's just gonna always be there. They're gonna always be in the playoffs. They're gonna. It's what are they gonna do?
So you had Patriots at third, and you have Buffalo at second.
Yeah.
See, I'm breaking this down.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
And Patriots, I said either. Wait, I said the Patriots have the potential. Time out. So anybody seeing this
AFC,
when you play in the podcast,
AFC East, all the fans.
If
he said the Patriots are third and the Buffalo Bills are second.
I said the Patriots had the potential to be second or third.
All right.
But I also said that the Patriots, long story short, they could end up. I highly doubt they end up in last place, but they have the potential to be in second place, but they'll probably end up in third. So it's gonna be one that somebody everybody can't be at the top spot. There's 4 teams.
Mm-hmm. The third team I'm going to, I have a wild hunch you're gonna say is gunning for number 1.
Yeah,
and you know where I'm going.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So we're gonna get on the third team for the AFC East.